Hi, good morning, and welcome to today's 10 minutes to win it. We are a little delayed today because I had a podcast interview today, which was fantastic. I had the best time. Let me go in here and go live on Instagram. There we go. Okay, awesome. So I know we're a little late today, and that's why we made the announcement. Normally, we come live for 10 minutes to win it, or I come live every day, Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern. Today's a little different because I just wrapped up a podcast interview and I am so excited to share it with you all because it was just so fun. It was called the Above Board Podcast. Let me go in here. Um, yeah, the Above Board podcast. It was awesome. We had the best time. And the host is John Kennedy. And we just had a really cool conversation where we talked about perfectionism. We talked about fear. We talked about, imposter syndrome and limiting beliefs and self-leadership. And we found out we both grew up in South Florida. So we just had a really great conversation. So I want to invite you all to go check out the Above Board podcast. He is amazing. He has amazing guests on his show, and he's just a really awesome guy and person. So I can't wait for the episode to come out. But what we talked about, I just really launched today's topic around fear, because I shared a story about when I first started my business 6 years ago and how I was stalled in my growth because I had a huge fear of being seen and heard. And this week's topic is we're talking about authenticity, showing up authentically as you, and moving through fear and learning how to navigate it is part of that journey of showing up authentically. If you're hi and you want to say hi to me, please say hi. I just want to actually make sure you can hear me too. I hope I'm not talking for 10 minutes and you can hear me. Can y'all hear me? Oh, you can hear me. Okay. So moving through fear, walking through the fear, doing it scared is part of showing up authentically. And also it's going to help you it's going to give you content for your messaging, because these are stories about your journey or about what you've moved through or times you've had these things happen in your life, or through the process, if you went through this process that you help people with yourself, of helping others move through it. Because if you are having those fears, chances are your people are going to be having those fears too. Or it's nice, they're going to feel good and feel like you understand them because they feel like they're not alone. So I want to talk about moving through fear. Do we ever really is it possible to become fearless? I don't think so. I think no matter what happens, we can overcome a fear. We can move through it and do it scared, but I don't know that fear is ever going to go away. I don't believe it is, because as we are up leveling, which is what John and I talked about today on his podcast, the Above Board podcast, that every time we are up leveling, every time we're moving to the next stage in whether it's a relationship, whether it's a business, whether it's our own personal growth, whether we're moving through a health journey, doesn't matter what we're working on or moving through in our life, fear is going to show up. Fear is going to be there. And that's part of your growth. That's part of our growth and journey. And whenever we're doing something new, anytime we're doing something that's out of our comfort zone, the fear is going to show up. And that means that actually gets exciting for me. I get excited when fear shows up for me, because then I'm like, it's a clear message that is my next cut. That's my next step. That's where I get to go into. And moving through the fear, now I get to go, how do I move through it? What is going to best support me in moving through that fear? It could be reaching out to a friend. It could be asking for support. And you should be. If you're not, lone wolfing doesn't work. But asking for support in moving through that fear to get you to the next level. So a story that happened to me something that happened to me where I recognized quickly that this is my next cut, was a speaking competition that showed up. And for those of you who have been following me for a while, you'll remember this, when I went to Miami for that speaking competition. And when I saw it, I knew that it was a week later, and I really didn't have any time open in my schedule to prepare for it. And so I wanted to be prepared when I walked in, but I also knew that it was probably not going to happen. I wasn't going to be as prepared as I wanted to be. But immediately when I was reading it, the feelings of when I first went live 6 years ago and I had the fears of being seen and showing up and started appearing. I got the physical sensations of my pit in my stomach, my chest was tightening, my throat started closing, I started shaking and sweating. All those symptoms or all of those reactions showed up. And I immediately said to myself, this is exactly what you get to do. So I signed up right away. And a week later, I went and did it. And I made it through round one. I didn't make it through round two. And there's two ways I can look at this. I can look at it that, see, you knew you weren't going to be prepared, so you failed. And I didn't. Lectra, you were amazing. Thank you, Lex. And Lectra was there with me, supporting me because I asked for help. I asked for support. She helped me write it the night before. And I got to practice. She drove down there with me so I could practice it in the car. So having that support was was one of the biggest pieces in me being able to move through round one. And I share this not to brag. I share this to say that I celebrate moving through round one. I didn't expect to move through round one. My expectation was getting through it and moving through the fear and taking that step. Just doing that was been a huge accomplishment for me, was a huge accomplishment for me. But if I didn't do it in the first place, I wouldn't have that extra bonus win and that extra boost in confidence because of moving through round one. And so in order to get to where you want to be in life, you need to move through the fear. You get to put your arm around it and walk around with it. Let it come with you on that journey. And anytime that fear shows up, celebrate it, because that is the key. That is the feeling. That is the sign. If you're looking for signs of what your next step is, when fear shows up, that's your sign. That's when you get to say, you know what, this is my next cut. This is where I get to go to next, and reach out and get support on moving through that. You don't have to do it alone. Okay, so if you're feeling any fear in some area of your business or in your life, I invite you to take that step, take that first step into acknowledging the fear, embracing the fear, and then taking that first step into moving through it. Because every time fear shows up, that means you're about to grow and you're about to take yourself and your business and your relationships, your health, whatever it is that you're at the fear, wherever the fear is showing up, to the next level. Okay, so I hope this supported you today. And this is also going to support you in your showing up authentically. When you're building an online business, you get to now share your journey, your story of how you move through the fear, because that's what's going to support you, and also bringing your audience members to you, right? And drawing them to you and standing out from the crowd. You get to share your journey. You get to share your fears. You get to share your challenges and the things that held you back or the things that kept you stuck. And also you get to share how you moved through it and got to the other side. So your people can see the transformation that you moved through, and they know, like, and trust you to be able to support them on moving through that transformation. Kelly's fear is real. It is real. People say it's false evidence appearing real. The feeling is real. It's a real feeling. Now, when you move through the fear, that's when the false evidence shows up, because you realize it wasn't that bad. I didn't die, right? I didn't die. I made it through. And now I'm stronger. I'm more confident. I know next time when this shows up, I'll have the courage to move through it because I've moved through it now and I didn't die. If anything, you're going to inspire someone. If you inspire one person for you moving through that fear, well, not only are you going to inspire yourself for the next time fear shows up, but now you're going to be able to inspire other ones, whether they're people in your life, your children, your clients, whoever that may be. So hug fear. Get excited when it shows up. I know that's kind of hard to grasp, but get excited when it shows up, because that's most likely that's your next step. That's a sign that this is your next step to get the growth that you're looking to get in order to achieve that goal or that vision that you have for yourself. In order to achieve those big goals and dreams, fear is going to show up. It's going to happen. Any successful athlete, any successful business person out there, anybody that's had a success in any area of their life had fear along the way. The difference of staying stuck and not getting the goals that you want for yourself, and when the difference between getting those goals and achieving those big dreams and vision, they're not any different than you. They just stepped through the fear and we're willing to move through it, and we're willing to do it scared. Okay, so We have an event coming up on Monday that I'm super excited to share with you. And we're going to help you move through fear. We're going to help you show up authentically. We're going to help you become a standout in a sea of other people doing what you do, of other entrepreneurs. And we're going to help you stand out to your audience as the person to be working with, to want to work with, and to purchase your services and products. So we're hosting an event called From Cold to Closed, taking an audience that may not know, like, and trust you yet, may not be ready to take that next step, and we're going to take them from being a new person in your space to working with you very, very quickly. So we're going to take your audience from cold to closed, where you are consistently and simply enrolling clients and customers into purchasing your service and your products. That starts on Monday. So the time to get in is now. You can go to from cold to closed, cold to closed, not from cold to closed. So HeidiShawCoaching.com, cold to close. Lecture drop the link in here. We'll be dropping the link everywhere. We're going to be really amping it up over the next few days because we start on Monday. It is free to join us. It is inside of a private group, so you do need to register in order to get the information to join us. It's free. It's 3 days. We're going to be together Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and you're going to learn exactly how to take your audience from a cold audience to a yes client, where they're like, heck yes, I get to work with you and I want to work with you now. So I hope to see you there on Monday. Have a fantastic weekend, everyone. And since this was around fear, if you have any specific fears that that's holding you back right now and you want to share them, please drop them in the comments. Let us support you, or reach out to me in the DM. And I would love to support you, because the quickest way to get to where you want to go is moving through the fear that's keeping you stuck. Okay. Have an amazing day. Have a fantastic, fun weekend. And I'll see you Monday for 10 minutes to win it. And I'll also see you Monday from Cold to Closed Bootcamp. Bye.